From the Empire State to the Golden Gates, this is Quad Radio USA.
Oh, yeah.
Now, with all the dirt from the world of ATV motocross and GNCC racing, here's Mr. 10 Seconds, Rodney Tomlin.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Quad Radio once again as we roll right smack dab into a two-wheel Tuesday here on our four-wheel station. And, of course, we're going to be talking with none other than Kailub Russell today as the Quad Radio studios are globecasting live today, loud and proud from southeastern Ohio in our home studios in Quad Radio USA, and saying thanks to our friends at SSI Decals once again. Ian and the folks over there, be sure and hit them up if you need some graphics or something along those lines. Also, if you're in the ATV suspension market, it is Impact Solutions, your factory authorized service center for Elka Suspension. They're at 985 Harris Highway in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Phone them up 304-863-0025 or hit them up on the web at impactsolutionsatv.com or on Facebook at simply at the Impact Solutions on Facebook. As we say, good afternoon here on a Tuesday, two-wheel Tuesdays we call it, to none other than GNCC's one of the top guys out there, and he's made a name for himself and made waves all the way through from the youth ranks of GNCC motorcycle racing, and that is none other than Kailub Russell, as we welcome the FMF KTM pilot to the show here on a Tuesday. Buddy, how's things going?
Not too bad, Rodney. Just trying to get some stuff squared away, getting the motorhome work done, doing a little bit of yard work, a little bit of everything.
Wow, so it's one of those things where the season where you don't get to do what you need to do during the race season. This is where you kind of get a chance to do that and get things tidied up. And plus, you've been extra busy this season, during the season and in the off season now, getting a new place ready as you're getting ready to get married this winter.
Yeah, for sure. That's coming up quick. The year went by really fast that time. It just seems like I proposed the other day, but yeah, that's coming up really fast. Clock's ticking on that one, but yeah, I got this house going here and getting ready to get married, trying to get everything squared away. So life's moving right along for me.
It is now. Kailub, how old are you now, buddy?
I'll be 23 in February, so that's going to be coming up quick too.
Wow, man. Yeah, I know, and it only gets faster from here on out. But that's pretty amazing, man. A year, like, yeah, you just started talking about getting married, and next thing you know, here it is upon you. And I know that you grew up in Ohio, and you've moved recently down, well, the last few years ago, I guess you moved down into, where is it, North Carolina, around the Yadkinville area, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, moved down here pretty much when I got out of high school and was living with my girlfriend's parents at the time, and they were gracious enough to let me into their home and live with them for a while, and just getting a place of our own now. So it's been quite the journey.
It has. It's been a good one for you, though, Kailub. And I tell you, man, this particular season, we're going to get into a lot of different things. As I told you leading into the interview that, we're going to talk a little bit about everything. But first and foremost, man, I just want to say congratulations to you on an outstanding 2012 season, one that, man, wasn't without its moments, that's for sure, and brought it right down to the wire. And it was exciting, and I know as frustrating as it was, it had to be exciting from your standpoint as well.
Yeah, it was a really good year. I mean, it couldn't have got much better, to be honest with you. I mean, I had 12 awesome races. I don't think anybody has ever seen somebody win 5 races and still not win the championship.
Right.
But it was a great year. Woodley had 13 good races. I had 12. That's what separated us. But for my second year, I know Yuha and David and those guys have come over and won in their first. But I mean, they're world champions to begin with coming over here. And me, my second year, being such a strong title contender, I really made a statement and kind of set the bar for next year.
Yeah, you have, man. I mean, that is something that you can say, and the bar is pretty high. I mean, it was high coming into the 2012 season. You had the likes of your teammate, Charlie Mullins, who was obviously going to be a force to be reckoned with, but he had his obvious problems this summer, and you knew that Paul Whibley was going to be trouble. And as always, there's those unknown variables like what we saw out of Rory Mead and even Thad Duvall at times there, and even Jordy Ashburn could get his nose in the mix of things every once in a while.
Yeah, that's what makes it really so good, you know. You always got, in anything, motocross, supercross, whatever your racing discipline, you know, you've got this core group of guys that are going to be solid and there every weekend, and then you got those other guys that are still kind of trying to find themselves, so to speak, and they always can sneak up and battle for those wins and podiums any given weekend.
For sure. I mean, what was the biggest surprise you think of this season?
You know, I think the biggest surprise was Charlie struggling as much as he did. You know, I didn't see that really coming with everything that happened, bike troubles to him getting hurt and everything. That was my biggest surprise, really.
Really? And I imagine so. I mean, were you surprised at how well he rebounded there toward the end of the year whenever he came back and raced with you guys?
No, not really. I mean, he's a great rider. Obviously, he won the championship, and he's been doing it a long time. I mean, you can't doubt a guy that's past champion and has been there for so long and doing it. But yeah, I was for sure surprised and kind of bummed at the same time because, you know, I wish he was there some weekend battling with me and Paul, trying to help me get those points back. But you know, that wasn't the case, and I had to do it all on my own. But it was a tough year, and I'm actually super pumped about to get next year underway, 2013.
Really? Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, we know how great this year was, and we'll touch on it a little bit more, but this sounds exciting. You're excited for 2013. Like I said, you're going to get married at the first of the year, but it sounds like a lot more might be on tap for you.
Yeah, for sure. Going to get married here, and actually next week heading out to California to get some arm pump surgery done. Hopefully that'll clear some things up for me. You know, I've been struggling. I don't know if it's with age. I know I got people telling me it's all mental, but I mean, it's not mental when you're getting it in practice. I mean, that's the most fun you ever are riding. So, but yeah, I've been struggling with that pretty much every race, and it's gotten to the point where, you know, if I'm out front and I can control the race, it's not so bad. But I mean, in all the races I've won this year, you can see I didn't really, or that I've won with a lead or have made up time. I haven't started building that lead or making up time until after about the first hour and a half. So that's been my own. It's kind of been my own worst enemy this year. My arms pumping up on me and making dumb mistakes and not being able to ride good.
Yeah, I can actually remember you bringing that up and alluding to that several times over the course of the season, which was kind of shocking and surprising to me. And even, you know, I think at the last round you'd even said something about it. I remember you looked down and you even said, man, I need to go get surgery and get these things fixed. And so that's what's going on, huh?
Yeah, it's you know, I've tried everything, tried all the remedies. Everything you can pretty much think of and seems to work or make it any better. You know, it's not riding technique, I don't think. I mean, I've tried a bunch of different stuff, and nothing seems to work. And after Loretta's, after going down on the start and then catching up, and then I don't ever get it until about halfway through the first lap. And I caught all the way up, and I was in with sight of Paul, and he kind of just motored away at that point. And you know, it caused me to lose the championship in my eyes. There's a lot of races that I feel I should have been able to contend for the win a little bit better this year, and you know, it needs to be dealt with.
Right.
So, that's the next step is to go get surgery. So.
So what is the actual process? What do they do whenever they do this arm pump surgery?
The best way I can explain it to you is, the doctor that I talked to, he's kind of tried to explain it to me, but they go in, they cut your arms open under your forearm, and you got this sheath around each of your muscles, and you got like eight different muscles in your forearm or something like that. I'm not sure, but they go in through there and they cut that sheath, and they let the muscle, and it lets the muscle expand and the blood flow through more. So hopefully that works, and I can ride pain free.
Right, and that yeah, exactly. It takes away the pain. It gives you the opportunity to actually be able to continue to hang on. Sounds like a rather beneficial thing, man. I really hope it works out. And I've heard of a lot of people that have had some pretty good successes with it, actually.
Yeah, I've got in touch with a bunch of people before I even made the call to get the call to the doctor or whatever. I've countless nights like researching stuff and talking on the phone with guys like Steve Hatch and Destry Abbott, and I mean, they said it's pretty good, and I should definitely look into it if it's hurt me that bad. So that's what I did.
Well, that's good, man. I'm glad that you recognize a problem and are trying to fix it. I know, and you know what's really funny? You're not the only one. You know, being with the series and everything, I'm acquainted with a lot of you guys that race, and Paul Whibley is another one that, you know, I'm not probably as acquainted with him as what I am with you, but the one thing that I do notice whenever I go to interview Paul is normally whenever I find him, he's usually in the back in his van wrapping his arms and doing some sort of thing with that, and he says it has something to do with helping control his arm pump and things like that. So I'm sure, like him, you've probably tried about everything, and it's obviously not something that just plagues one or two people. It's something that happens quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's really funny. Like everybody always comes back to, well, you don't ride enough, that's why you get it, or something's wrong, you know. And I know Paul. I mean, he works harder than most anybody in general. I mean, I know he probably works harder than me at it, but you know, it's not saying that's what's going to get the job done. But he wraps his arms. It's supposed to. I know I've tried it a few times and it didn't really work, but it must help him a little bit. But I'm not really sure. Just it kind of pumps your arms up, and then the blood releases back through, and I'm not really sure what the point of it is, but it didn't work for me.
See, seems to be something that works for, or at least he feels works, because, man, I swear 13 out of the 13 rounds this year, that's about where I found him about every single time. And yeah, and speaking of work, man, I mean, that's one thing that you can say about Paul. I mean, I think you respect that guy, and you can't do anything but respect what he's been able to accomplish, and what, you know, the battles that you guys had this year, and the way it was just barely, you know, the way he won. You got to respect the work and the effort he puts into that. I mean, admire it even.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, where he's come from. The guy, I don't think when he got into it, he even knew how to ride a bike by his riding style. But he's definitely got a solid work ethic, and figured things out on his own the last 10 or so years from where he started to where he is now. I mean, he's always there at the end of the race. I mean,
yeah.
And he's gotten faster. Like he's really surprised me the last couple of years, like speed wise too. So he's turned himself into a really solid rider, and you got to watch out for him anywhere. I mean, he's always there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. I admire and respect him for what he's been. All you guys, but I mean, you know, just him. I mean, he's a little bit older than you guys, so I mean, he might have to dig a little bit deeper than for that little extra push of energy at the end of the race. That might be why he might have to train a little bit harder and stuff right now. But with that being said, man, I mean, that means that, I mean, even you said, probably don't work as hard as probably Paul does, but there's a lot of people that, there are always these rumors that Kailub don't do this, Kailub don't that. Maybe Kailub don't do that, but there is something that helps keep your edge and helped make you and build you into what you are today. And I think one might say it could go back as far as maybe even your bloodline, man. I mean, your father, a great off-road racer himself, Jeff Russell, man. I mean, I guess if the Kailub Russell story was to ever be told, it would have to start with JR, who is such an influential part in American off-road racing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can remember going and riding, and when I first started riding, and he was still racing back in the day. I kind of remember a little glimpse of images of what I can remember from back then. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, like, I was never that good of a youth rider, or like, I was never that good of a rider until probably 2004. I won a couple of youth championships, but I didn't really. I didn't dominate the class or anything. I wasn't like anybody's. I wasn't really a standout rider like Corey Bushrick or Thad Duvall in the youth days until my last 2 years, and then I just went on to be an average A rider the following year, and then the following year after that, I was a dominant A rider. So it's kind of weird how everything's worked about. I've kind of just learned a little bit along the way from everybody. My dad was a big part in helping me out and trying to show me what I need to do and how to be a hard worker, and how that putting in the work really pays off in the end. And I really wish I would have listened to him 3 or 4 years ago, because life would probably be a lot easier right now.
I remember the frustrations. I worked a lot with your dad during that time, Kailub, and I remember some of his frustrations. He tries to stay out of everything and let you make your own decisions, but at the same time, he would appear quite frustrated at some of the decisions that were being made. But at the same time, he gave you that room to grow and to learn those things on your own. And I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I really, I've always been the type of person that kind of want to do things on my own. I think that's what's kind of molded me into the person I am today. I mean, I've been on my own for the last 4 years, so it's kind of put life into perspective, the whole deal,
Yeah.
The motorcycle industry, as it stands right now, is doing pretty well. But as a pro rider standpoint, it's dying off, I think. I mean, obviously it's no secret. I mean, pro riders today aren't making nearly what they did 4 or 5 years ago, and there's not near as many riders on the line in the pro class. And you definitely have to have something to you that stands out, and you got to be there every weekend, and really pushing the issue, and you got to make sure you're one of the top guys. If you're not winning, you got to be second or third every weekend, or else you're not going to have a job or have a salary, and it kind of sucks. But I mean, that's how it goes.
It is, and the jobs are few and far between, and like you say, it doesn't pay. It's not as lucrative as it was, like you say, 5 years ago. It becomes, Kailub, a thing of passion as much of the sport as it is for wanting to be able to reap monetary benefits from it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many riders out there that have the talent and can do really well, but it's really hard to do it on your own. And especially in motocross, it's pretty much now to where privateer can't even compete at the top level because the way technology has become.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that teams have so much money wrapped up into products and stuff to make their bikes better, and just all sorts of things go into it. It's it's really killing the privateer status.
But, on the flip side of that, I mean, the team that you ride for, especially in the off-road world, and it looks like they're doing it in the motorcycle racing world, they're building those race-ready machines that are competitive right off the box. I mean, I'm sure that you as a KTM factory team have some advantage over the normal KTM rider, but I'm sure there's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially off-road racing. I mean, machine and your equipment isn't the biggest issue. Your mind and your body is the main thing that's going to get you through the race. Mm-hmm. But you definitely have to have some sort of knowledge and know-how of on the bike, like setup wise and everything. I think that's where our team kind of benefits more than other teams. Mm-hmm. And the privateers, we have those suspension techs that we can go to and make changes weekly. I mean, motor changes and that stuff's what we reap benefits from. But that's where the privateer guys, they kind of get their suspension set up and they're stuck with that all year, so to speak. But that's the biggest benefit. But off-road racing, it's definitely, you can be a lot more competitive being a privateer, but you really got to be dedicated and just want to do it because you love it, because you're not making any money as a privateer.
Exactly. You get down to the point right back where we were, you're not making any money at it, but again, it becomes about the passion and the drive. Now, it's something that obviously you can make some money at, and you can make probably a pretty good living on for quite some time. I mean, it is an industry that, if you can find your niche in it, you can prosper in it, but you've got to have, everything's just got to fall into place for you. I mean, you've got to have the right elements that work. And, I mean, you yourself, man, I mean, I think that, having somebody that is so deep-seated in the industry is probably, I don't think people realize how much harder it seems that you've had to work to get to where you are than anybody else out there seems to have had to work, man. I mean, people say, well, Kailub got that given to him because he was, Jeff Russell's. No, that's not the case. What people don't understand, everything that you got, you deserved, and you probably, honestly, truly deserve more, especially whenever you started shining through those youth ranks and then become that what you called an average A rider, which soon excelled into one of the top premier riders in the series, period.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely kind of rough and harsh, I was kind of sheltered from it. I mean, my dad wasn't going to say, hey, this is going on because you're my son or whatever. I was kind of out on my own, didn't really think of any of that at the time, when I was riding. I was just a kid riding because it was fun, and I enjoyed doing it, and I got good, and, when somebody gets good and you're beating their kid, it's because I'm Jeff Russell's son. And I obviously get to go out and practice on the tracks before everybody, even though I had school, and my dad's at the race a week and a half earlier than I'm there, and he's trying to find me a ride to the race, or at my mom's on the way there after school. But yeah, it's definitely tough. And then I kind of really started realizing it when I moved up to XC2 and I started winning. And the first year, I don't really name drop, but there's a big ordeal a few times with FAR and those guys over there. But yeah, everything's turned out for the best, and I really don't feel like that situation happens as much anymore. So as I've gotten older and people realize I've moved out and everything. So
right, and I think people are. In the beginning especially, I think people are just looking for an excuse, looking for an edge. And I think as much as anything, and you've probably figured it out being around it for as long as you have been, it's a mind game. I mean, as much as anything, they may or may not have believed what they were saying when they were saying that, but what they were doing was just trying to get inside and play head games with you, I think, as much as anything. I mean, they probably knew what they were saying, held no water whatsoever, but they knew it would rile you up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like kind of fires me up. But I mean, when you piss me off, I only do better. Like I thrive off of people saying I can't, or you're not able to do something. You know, that's fuel for the fire right there. I mean, if you go out and tell me, "Oh, you can do it," you know, I'm more likely to fail when I'm getting positive feedback rather than negative. So
I have seen that in your nature, man. I really have. That's good. And you know what?
It's just how I've always been. I don't know. When somebody tells me I can't do something, damn it, I'm going to do it.
I think that's inherited. Your dad's the same way, man.
Yeah.
But
it probably is. My grandpa's the same way, too.
Oh, yeah. Hard Rock, Howard Russell, man. Howard Russell is definitely about the hardest-headed individual I've ever met in my life, man. I mean, they don't call him Hard Rock for nothing. And I'm sure, I know your mother too, so I'm sure that side of the family, those genes are probably just as strong as what they are on that side. Yeah. Well, man, let's. I mean, you talked a little bit about the being the son of Jeff Russell and this and that, and you said you never were pushed or anything like that. What did motivate you to ride? What did get you to want to go out there and breathe that passion in you to make you be where you want to be, where you are today?
Yeah, I don't really know. I just it's one of those things where I progressively got better. And I remember my dad, I think it was 2006, I moved up to the A class in Hollywood. Most everybody knows Hollywood. He had my dad was so busy with the tracks and everything, like he didn't have time to work on bikes, and Hollywood was my mechanic at the races because he's already there and kind of working, setting up stuff. But I remember after one race, I think it was St. Clairsville. It was towards the end of the year, and my dad and Hollywood, they both sat down with me, and I'm pretty sure they showed me like how much money my dad was spending like on me to have Hollywood just as my mechanic and everything. And I was kind of slacking off. I really wasn't that great of a rider at the time, and I was just kind of mediocre. But they really put things into perspective. You know, if I want to do this, and I need to start working a little harder towards it. And next race, I went out and won by 13 minutes. So I guess that kind of helped out. But
now, did that cause you to change anything between the races? No, I think that just somebody believed in me, and I didn't really realize how much money they were spending. I was just kind of still doing it for fun. I always wanted to be a pro rider, like when I started racing. And there's no doubt that I can't remember any time where I was like, I don't think I can do this. I never had a doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to be here. And I was just like looking up to those guys, seeing how fast they were going, and I was like, man, I can't wait till I can go that fast. And now I'm here, and I just never doubted my ability. I just knew it would come on its own time. But I think that kind of expedited the whole equation there. Mm-hmm. And they really sat down with me, and they showed me what was up. And if I was really going to do this, I needed to step it up a little bit, because he wasn't going to continue supporting me if I go out and not doing so well, just quit. So. Right. Well, it helped put things into perspective for you, and obviously light that fire, and I guess we can almost say the rest is history at that point. Is that whenever you really started climbing through the ranks then?
Yeah, I mean, I really did. Next year I won every race in 200A, and then I moved up to XC2, and, there were some growing pains, and I really didn't do that well, but, I mean, I felt like I did as good as I could. It was a super muddy year. I was never that good at as a mud rider. And, yeah, 2008 was really a struggle for me in the XC2 class. I did end up getting third. I won 2 races. And 2009, Corey Buttrey, me and him both signed as a factory KTM rider on the XC2 team. And I knew if I wanted to keep my ride, I needed to at least beat him and try to win. So that's what I did. Is just I worked as hard as I could just so I just wanted to make sure I beat him every race. But I mean, I ended up doing really well that year and winning the championship, of course. But yeah, I think that's what really motivated me, because I knew it was like that's when everything kind of started to struggle. You heard about all these teams folding up and the economy going bad. You kind of realized you needed to put something on the table if you wanted to keep your ride. So.
Yeah, and that's about the time that it all came down too, man. And that's when you started proving yourself. Of course, you got what 2 XC2 titles, right?
Yeah.
And then the move into this is your second year in XC1, correct?
Yeah, this was my second year in XC1.
Wow, I mean it's been a rather phenomenal career and a rather storied career, Kailub. And I know that I've been there to witness a good portion of it, and I really appreciate what you've been able to do with your passion and throw out there, because it's so much fun to see you go against the odds when somebody tells you can't do it and fire you up and go out and over exceed any expectations. I think that's really cool. But the one thing that I know that probably people are wondering, and you're still young in your career, hopefully there's a lot more years to go in all this, but what so far has stood out above everything when you look back at all the way back to what I guess probably 60s when you started racing GNCC? What's the one thing that probably stands out as the most monumental thing to you in your history of GNCC?
It's kind of hard to say when the best is yet to come. So
right, I like that.
But probably, I'd say 2009 when I won that first XC2 championship. I come into Florida just. I didn't really expect myself to be. I was kind of still on the stage where I didn't know where I was. I didn't know I was going to be that good of a rider. I just figured I should be top 5, and I went out in Florida and won by a couple of minutes. So, after that, that's all I needed. Mm-hmm. And I think I won the next one, and then I ended up winning 8 races that year.
Wow. And
after that, it just kind of, I know those guys can't beat me, so there's no reason I shouldn't be up there. And same now. Like after last year, I was top 3 a couple of times, and then I won, and then I was like, yeah, I should be up here all the time. None of these other guys should be able to beat me. So,
yeah, I got this. That's pretty phenomenal, and I can see what you're talking about. I can follow you there. But
what was that?
I said I follow what you're talking about. That 09 season, I can see where that would be so monumental for you. And I like how you said it's hard to say when the best is yet to come. That's probably one of the best quotes I've ever heard. If you came up and coined that, kudos to you. But man, the best is yet to come, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. But looking, we talk about the great, what's the good thing, the good memory. Is there anything at all, Kailub, that you would go back and change?
It's hard to say. It's in 2020's hindsight, but I'm lucky to be in the situation I'm in. I've got great parents and great family. An awesome fiance with soon to be my mother and father-in-law, and that want the best for me, and they're awesome, and I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be around me. So I really don't think I could change anything.
Wow, I like that. No regrets, man, and that is so good, and I'm proud of you, man, and I'm very happy for you. I want to wish you all the success in the world with your upcoming surgery, your wedding here at the first of the year, and of course the upcoming 2013 season. I know that you're pretty excited about that coming up too.
Yeah, it should be good. It's coming up quick, so hopefully we can get that out of the way, get on a honeymoon, get back to business.
All righty. All right. Well, Kailub, is there anybody, any shout outs, anything that you want to pass along before we let you go?
Yeah, just like to thank my fiance Chandler and my parents, my mom, dad, my whole family really. Everybody at Racer Productions, they've always been there cheering me on and helping me out just because of who my family is. You know, that's kind of, I always try to thank those guys on the podium. I know it seems it's just more fuel for the fire for people to say, oh, well, he's got an advantage. But you know, there's you and everybody else that work for Racer Productions. You know, you guys are the ones that make everything happen, make it possible for me to have a job and all the other providers, and make it possible for kids to keep their dream alive of becoming off-road pro riders. So you know, it's a big obligation for you guys to put those events on, but it's well deserved in the end.
Well, man, it is appreciated. I know that everybody works hard. It is a team effort, and Racer Productions has got a Class A team, and it produces Class A riders like yourself. And again, I just want to say thanks for being a part of our Two Wheel Tuesday here on Quad Radio. I know that you're not a big four-wheel guy or anything, but thanks for at least letting us know who you are, brother, and maybe there'll be some more of those four-wheel guys stick around and slapping you some high fives and help pull you out some mud holes in 2013.
Yeah, hopefully.
All righty. All right, well, Kailub, if that's all you got, buddy, we'll go ahead and let you roll and get back to working on the motorhome and getting prepared, okay?
All right, thanks, man.
All righty. That is Kailub Russell. I am Rodney Tomlin for this Two Wheel Tuesday. This is Quad Radio.